Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United clash in a game that has been dubbed El Sacico, and both managers could do with a win to quieten their doubters. Yes, guys, you know, it's time to your boy Dave Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, bringing you a pre-match build-up and a lovely preview to today's massive Premier League clash, Tottenham Hotspur versus Manchester United, where both managers, it seems in the press, are under severe pressure right now, and both could do with a win. And boy, have we rolled out a stellar panel to get through to today's topics. Jack, co-host, my man, how are you keeping? A brilliant show last night, brother.
Thank you. And, you know, I'm actually just still dreaming of the stats from last night. Some of them were a bit scary, especially regarding Bruno Fernandes and whatnot and Mason Greenwood, Dave. But, you know, I'm going to get that sense of optimism from you. I wasn't too, you know, hopeful of maybe a result last night. But now that I'm speaking to you, I'm already getting the goosebumps. I'm already feeling the win, Dave.
No, look, that's what I do, Jack. You know, people around me, you know, they just get pumped up for the game no matter what, you know. Phil, my man, how are you keeping, brother?
Yeah, I think very similar to Jack. You know, wake up this morning, nervous as hell. I'm going to give it another 2 hours, and I know that it'll be Tottenham 5-0, no problem. So already for the pump up.
No, come on, this is what it's about. Josh, my man, how are you, brother?
I am extremely well. Big shout out to all of the Harris army, all the flat cap army in the chat. I can see you sitting there. Up the Spurs. Let's get the 3 points today and let's get back on fucking track. There we go.
Come on, Josh.
That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. But look, as always, we like to see who's joining us from the very beginning. We have Tommy in the house. He says, was watching Chris Cowlin just now. Oh my God, that Alex Moosh was on. Yeah, look, Alex is a good guy though. He's funny. I give it to him. Football opinions, he drives me absolutely crazy, and he knows that. Umaroto says, come on, you Spurs. Big up, Umaroto. Hope you're keeping well, brother. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Adam's in the house. Big up, Adam, my man. I hope things are well with you, brother. He says, come on, you Harris Army. Let's put Ole Gunnar shoe shiner to the sword. That's exactly what I'm saying, my man. That's exactly what I'm saying. Also, 53 says, big up, lads and ladies. Can't stay or watch the game. One of the grandchildren's birthday today. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Harris Army. Well, look, old soul, this is where you've got it wrong. I'll be honest with you. Look, my man's birthday sometimes falls on a Spurs game. We always go to a restaurant to make sure we book the table across from the TV where we always have sight on the match, my man. My mother's sitting in there. The TV's up behind her. Me and the old lad are sitting there with our big roast dinner. You know, my man's speaking to us. We're looking over ahead at the game, my man. Come on, lad. Lack of planning, old soul. I expect better. But big yourself up. A big shout out to your grandchild. You know, and a massive happy birthday here from the Irish Hotspur, and hopefully they have a good day and we get the 3 points all. So big yourself up, my man, and go and enjoy your day. Dark Sun G's in the house, my man. Dark Sun G, I hope you're keeping well. He says, come on, you Spurs. I expect a 4-0 or 4-1 win today. Sun, Brace, Reggie, and a Skip goal. Look, Reggie goal's coming, my man. A Reggie goal is coming. Skips is coming too, you know.
Long overdue.
Sun, I think he will score today. If Man United score, McTominay, what do you think about West Ham in the quarterfinal? We're going to get on to that, my man. Do not worry. That's the first question I'm asking all the boys here. Kenneth is in the house, my man. Kenneth, I hope you're keeping well. Up the Spurs. Come on. Big yourself up. Catman Jess says, come on, you Spurs. Big up, Catman. I hope things are well, brother. We have Dermot in the house. He says, we, the mighty Tottenham Hotspur, the best in the land, united with Fearless, is in no doubt. Kane will score with Son on the wing. But the kings of the mighty Tottenham Hotspurs, David and Jack, come on, you Harris Army. Look, my man, me and Jack are only fans like every single one of you guys, you know. The real kings are on the pitch today. Maybe Harry Kane might fancy a bit of Lindelof and Maguire if that is the duo at the back. Who knows? Claude Murphy's in the house. He says, morning, you Spurs. I can smell that 3 points today. That's what I'm talking about. Hopefully it's straight off the frying pan with the sausage and rashers in it as well, my man. Beat yourself up, Claude. Dark Song G, I haven't a clue. Philip's been keeping an eye on the game. And look, I turned it off at half-time because I was pissed off, to be honest with you. But, you know, I know Phil's been keeping an eye on it. He's been assuring us that they've been absolutely battering them. Is that the case still, Phil?
I've turned it off now. Yeah, when Leicester had three or four chances that on another day they would have slotted, and it's just too depressing. But if they get the 3 points, let's hope we match their result. So
not a surprise. The Gooners getting away with robbery. That's not a surprise. Yeah. Not a surprise.
That's what we come to getting used to right now. The regular says, big up everyone listening to this while going to the game. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Harris Army. The regular, big yourself up, my man. Look, first of all, I hope you go and enjoy the game. I hope we get the points for you. I know Joe Grimes is over there right now. I know Brad's going to the game. The We Are Tottenham TV boys, Daigle. They're all going today, man. So, hit some of them up and see if they're about. But enjoy the game, my man. And look, that's very kind of you listening to this on the way to the game. You really don't need to do that, my man. I appreciate it, brother. Absolutely love it. Kuva99 says the Gooners winning because they are far better side than we say they are. I have my doubts, Kuva. I have my doubts. The
stats say differently, man. According to the stats, Leicester have been on top for the past 15, 20 minutes. 63% possession with like 7 shots on target. So
wow. Zanuska says, hi guys, the team needs to give the roll today. If we put our minds to it, we can bag those points. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Harris Army. Come on, you Flat Carabao Army. I couldn't agree more, Zanuska. Hope you're well. We have Cody Mack in the house. Big up, Cody. He says, all right, David, let's get this season turned around. Come on, you Spurs. Of course, Cody, every day is a new day. Every day is a new day where you can wake up and write your own chapter. Forget about what's gone on in the past. Today's a new day. Fresh start. Let's go. Let's write a new chapter in Tottenham Hotspur. Derek Hutchinson says, time to kick United's backside. Absolutely love it, my man. Para Miguel Escobardo's in the house. Good evening, Paro, all the way from Lagos. I hope you're keeping well, my man.
Legend.
Kenneth says, David, crossing all my fingers for a good score today. We'll wait and see, my man. We'll wait and see. Kais is in the house, says, hi, David and Jack. How are you going? I hope you're keeping well. Aaron Duffy's here. Lots of ups. It's rag day. Smash him. Got a good feeling we're putting Ole on the dole today. I hope so, Adam. I really do. My man. Look, we need to absolutely crush them today, and hopefully that is the case. Kyle Patrick Vineyard says, come on, you Spurs. Big up, Kyle Patrick Vineyard. I hope things are well, my man. Tyler Mills is in. He says, come on, you Spurs. Let the pain commence. Big up, Tyler Mills. Someone got out the right side of the bed this morning. Big up, Tyler. I know you're absolutely...
The life of a Spurs fan.
Absolutely love it. Brilliant. Big up, Kaguma. I hope things are well. I hope you're keeping well. It's good to see you in. Big yourself up. And we also have Adi Ezudin. Would you take Ericsson back? Seems like he can't play in Italy anymore. Look, if he comes back and he passes all the tests, 100%, I'd bring him in right now. We can't really turn anybody's down in that department right now, can we? So, look, let's see what happens, Adi. And Stuart Austin's in the house. Irish 1,000% back in Harry the way we the other day on We Are Tottenham. On We Are Enoch TV, yeah. No, they're not We Are Enoch TV. They want the Enoch out, my man. Come on, Steve. Look, I only call the game as I see it, my man. That's all I do. I only call it as I see it. Whether people agree with it or not, that's up to them. I don't expect everyone to agree with it. You know what I mean? So, look, plenty of people don't agree with it, and let me know in the comment section. It is what it is. I only call it as I see it through my eyes. Everyone sees football through different lenses, my man. Wayne Bonner says, afternoon, my fellow Spurs sufferers, fans, let the torture and suffering begin. Big up, Wayne Bonner. I hope you're keeping well, brother. I hope you're keeping well. And, it is the flat cap, Stuart. It is the flat cap. I know you're jealous. Look, I can send you one if you want one, brother. And we also have Jack Merry, Tottenham, to win it, Neil. Absolutely love it.
Love it, Jack.
Love it. Big yourself up. And look, first of all, everybody, make sure you do smash that like button. Make sure you smash that subscribe button if you are new. The big push to 4.5K is nearly on. We're about 50 away, guys. So make sure anyone new in the chat absolutely, get straight onto their case to smash that subscribe button. And look, feel free to help me and Jack, on our journey. Feel free to get a super chat in, guys. It's a great way to skip the rest of the chat. We'll get straight to it. Look, I know not everybody is in a position to do that. Do not worry. As everybody knows that comes into this channel, I'm fair. I will bring up everybody's comments, as much as I can throughout the show, guys. So I can guarantee your comment will be brought up on screen and that. And yeah, so look, let's crack onto it. Look, I suppose before I actually give you everything you need to know, let's get onto it. Jacko, West Ham at home, the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. You happy? Excited? Pissed off?
I think them actually, I would take it, David, actually. I mean, obviously, we probably all wanted Sunderland, but not everybody can get Sunderland when you think about it. But
Yeah.
I think we still, at the end of the day, played decently against West Ham. It's just we never did anything decisive enough in the second half. We didn't go for the jugular. You know, we were the better team, I thought, in that match. We played quite boring. We played quite safe. You know, we didn't, really play in such an aggressive nature, but it's not like really West Ham had a fantastic game when you think about it. And they were at home. They had everything behind them. They also were rolling off of that Europa League win, of course. So you have to think about it in that maybe we do have them a bit figured out. We just have to go about it a bit more aggressive, a bit more kind of daring, maybe a bit, take a bit more risks than we did, last match. And especially at home, maybe knowing that, the West Ham fans, they're going to be not giving us as much of the shit as they did when they were at home, David. I think, it's actually plays into our hands. I think it's actually going to be a decent one for us, maybe a decent opportunity and actually to get some revenge.
Absolutely love that outlook.
I'd take it.
Absolutely love that outlook on it. And look, Wayne Bonner says, great show last night, Jack. You were superb.
Appreciate that, Wayne. Appreciate that, Wayne. It was a blast hanging out. It was good vibes, good stat vibes with everybody. They're giving their tactical insights, their stat insights. Honestly, it was just vibing with the whole Harris Army last night.
No, it was a great show. I watched it back this morning. Look, I was out with the missus last night and her family for her birthday celebrations. Hence why I do look a bit shook today. I had a few Cap Morgans last night. But, we plow on as always, Tottenham. I woke up this morning, bit Seven Nation Army, bit Kings of Leon, getting me absolutely pumped up for the game. Then some Spurs tunes, of course. But big up, man. It was a great show. And it's good to see everybody giving Jack the love. Look, it's not an easy thing to be able to do shows on your own. Believe me, it's not, So much respect to Jack for that. But big up, Wayne Bonner. I really appreciate the support, brother. Top man. And I hope you're keeping well, Wayne. Actually, I hope you're off today for the game. I hope you get to enjoy the game. I know you work hard doing the landscape and that, my man. So big yourself up. Phil, look, when I called for the Carabao Cup final or quarter-final draw, I says because we played the last two away, I wanted a home one. Home at West Ham. You happy with that draw?
Yeah, looking at anyone that's left in the draw, we got to be happy with any home draw. We got to be looking and thinking, yeah, we're Tottenham, we can do this. The fact that it's West Ham, and I've reflected a lot. I know we were all very quick on Monday to be slating about how poor we were, but do you know what? A slightly more clinical pass in the final third, we could have been 3 to the good and been sat there, on our momentum journey. But we got the players, they got the skill, whether they're clicking or not clicking, that's the only thing they've got to do. But home draw for a quarterfinal, take it all day long, wouldn't you? Whoever the opposition. And West Ham, it's revenge time. We're coming for you.
Oh, absolutely. Do you know what? We could knock them out in their biggest cup final of this season. It'd be absolutely brilliant. Big up Kieran Keys. I know he spent the day at the under-23s game. Dylan McCandy winner late on. Come on, you Spurs, bring on the first team match later. Big up Kieran, my man. Fair play to you for travelling. Hope you enjoyed the game. Hopefully we get the 3 points today for your commitment as well, supporting the underage teams and that. Beat yourself up, Kieran. I hope you're keeping well, brother. Josh, I think it was you that called for West Ham. I think you wanted West Ham. You got your draw.
No, I was quite the opposite. I wanted Sunderland away. Like I would.
Oh yeah, sorry, you did. My bad.
Yeah, I wanted the Stadium of Light on away day. That would have been quality. But I mean, I really wanted West Ham in the final. But realistically speaking, I would rather have West Ham in the quarters than in the semis, because we have to play. No, because you have to play them twice in the semis.
Yeah,
and it's more pressure. But no, I would rather have had West Ham in the final. But because I'm not going to the United game today, it's even more reason for me to go on the 21st, get behind the team, get in the semis. Let's go. I'm happy. I'm happy with the West Ham draw.
Early Christmas present.
It's just before Christmas as well, isn't it? So.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm excited. I'm not going to lie. Look, I know West Ham have done a start over the last couple of seasons, but it's a cup quarter final. Tottenham are a cup. Well, we used to be a cup team. Look, over the last decade, we have been a cup team. We've made a lot of semi-finals, a couple of finals and that. So we still are kind of a cup team. It's just getting over the line. So look, West Ham at home, let's absolutely take them. Let's beat them, and then let's get into the semi-final, and absolutely anything can happen from there. We're only a couple of games away from Wembley there. I think the semi-final is a two-legged affair. So, we're 3 games away from Wembley. I wanted the home draw. I called it. I didn't want to do any more travelling in the Carabao Cup. Needless travel hours. No need for it. We travel enough with the Europa Conference League and that. So I'm absolutely delighted that it's at home. You know, look, it's in our territory. Let's make the atmosphere hostile. Look, keep them images of West Ham fans trying to get at Spurs fans coming out of the game. You know what I mean? That's not on. So look, let's roll the dice. Let's absolutely smash them. You know, burst their bubbles. You know, and that's what it's all about. You know, if we beat them in the cup quarter final, because right now they believe they have a good chance. They've knocked out United and City, right? If we knock them out, that would piss them off more than us beating them in the league the other day. It really will. Or than us, you know, turning them over in the league. So it'll be absolutely
lost their cup
brilliant.
final. They would have lost their cup final.
I can't wait for it. It's going to be an absolute cracker. Dark Sun G21 says the Carabao Cup is on December 21st, right? Then we face Brighton away, Leicester away, Liverpool at home, West Ham at home, and then Palace home. That match lineup, oh my God.
Yeah.
Go fixture list. Did the Liverpool game get moved from the 19th then?
Bet it should have. I can take a look, Dave.
Because if it did, that's absolutely brilliant, because then it won't ruin my Christmas. So that'd be a huge bonus today, really. But look, you know, Brighton away, there's no reason why we can't turn them over. Leicester away, look, they're beatable this season. Let's see what we can do. Liverpool is the one that always grinds my gears because they always seem to beat us, and Firmino always tends to score. West Ham at home definitely can beat them. Palace, we owe them. So look, Dark Sun G, maybe it's not as bad as first feared. Look, let's see if we can get on a nice run. Look, you know, Nuno's supposed to have the best fitness coach in the world. Well, December, I suppose, will reveal all then. Won't it, Dark Sun G? Big yourself up, my man. Really appreciate the support, brother. What an absolute legend. But look, guys, let's get into it. I'm going to give everybody a bit of everything they need to know. So, of course, we are at home today at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's a 5:30 p.m. kickoff. Referee is Stuart Atwell. He will, in my opinion, he only gives out around 3 yellow cards a game. So that kind of shows me, no red cards, of course. So that does show me that he might let the game flow and he might let it be a bit of a combative game, which will suit the likes of Skip and Højbjerg and maybe some of our players out there today. Of course, you can watch the game on Fraud Sports. But if you don't want to watch the game on Sports Frauds, make sure you join the watch along here on the Irish Hotspur at 5:15 p.m. But of course, before that, after this show, make sure you get over to the pre-match bump up over on We Are Tottenham TV, guys, starting at 4 p.m. Where, of course, your boy, Big Boy D here, you know, he'll be taking you all the way through, you know, to the live watch along with the two boys as well. Man United, look, they were humiliated by Liverpool last weekend, losing 5-0. Ollie is under pressure going into today's game. They're 7th in the Premier League table. They've played 9, won 4, draw 2, lost 3, and sit on 14 points. Their defence is a huge concern for them right now at the minute. Going forward, they're absolutely fine. Defence is their major concern. Their last 5 games in the Premier League, they've won 1, drawn 1, and lost 3. You know, so they are on a bit of a downward spiral right now. Fernandes is their best player over the last 2 years. He'll be one of the players to watch out for. Already got 4 goals this season. Ronaldo is United's top scorer this season as well. And then you have Mason Greenwood, who also has 4 goals. And he is United's golden boy. He's very direct and he will shoot on sight. So we have to close him down early. I do expect United to play the 4-2-3-1 today with hopefully a midfield partnership of McFred. You might be able to get that on the McDonald's menu after we beat them. Tottenham, of course, we're looking to get back to winning ways in the Premier League after last week's lackluster 1-0 defeat to West Ham. We are 6th in the Premier League. We've played 9, we've won 5, we've drawn 0 and lost 4. We currently sit on 15 points, 1 point ahead of United. We only have 9 goals in 9 Premier League games. Going forward is actually our biggest problem. We've actually tightened up at the back, so it's a bit of a reverse from last season. And we are creating chances is a huge concern as well. We don't create too many chances whatsoever. Our last 5 games in the Premier League, we have won 2, drawn 0, drawn 0, and we have lost 3. Son is our most dangerous player in the Premier League with 4 goals today. And of course, we expect to line up as a 4-2-3-1 as well, which means the midfield battle will be very, very interesting today. Players injured for Tottenham. Sessegnon is still out with his hamstring injury. And Gill, the last we all heard, he was to be assessed after picking up a hamstring injury in the Carabao Cup game midweek. Nuno not really providing any clarity on that in his press conference whatsoever. Varane is back in training for United. Martial is back in training for United. Whether this game comes too soon for them or not, that remains to be seen. But we will wait for the starting lineups Today they will be out around 4:30. Pogba, of course, is suspended after being sent off against Liverpool. He usually has a decent enough game against Tottenham, so it's good to see him not available. I don't want to see his stupid little blue streak running around anywhere, to be honest with you. Look, over the last few years, over the course of the Premier League, it hasn't really been a happy place for Tottenham. With United winning the majority of the fixtures. In the Premier League here, Tottenham have only won 10, drawn 12, and United have won 36. Tottenham have lost more games in the Premier League versus United than any other team. So it's a massive task today. Man United have not won in the last 3, or they have won all of their last 3 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as well, guys. It's been a happy hunting ground for them. It is 6v7 with 1 point between the two teams, and United have lost 3 of the last 4 in the Premier League. So there you have it, guys. There's kind of everything you really need to know about today's game. So maybe let's dissect some of the big talking points and let's start getting questions out to the panel. But Jack, first of all, what is your thoughts ahead of today's game?
David, I kind of am one of those, delusional optimism, positivity. It's what we're known for over here. But when it comes to United, David, they're kind of my bogey team. Like, I just always have kind of been afraid of them. The other teams I usually kind of psych myself up for, have overconfident or get a bit overconfident when it comes to United, especially with that firepower, especially since they rely on such individual brilliance and the likes of Greenwood, Ronaldo, Rashford. Of course, now Pogba's out, but then also, it's Fernandez, of course, as well. It's just Fernandez. Yes, David. And I just feel like it's a difficult team to come up against every single time we go out there. It's also, I think it seems interesting, David, but it's always the away team that seems to be winning these as well. The visitors seem to be winning all these fixtures. So I don't know. It doesn't fill me with confidence, Dave, but I will say that, they are a team that relies on individual brilliance. They are a team that doesn't use any sort of intelligent attacking patterns or anything that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has, drawn up or anything. So if we do figure them out, if maybe Nuno pulls off a tactical masterclass and the boys do their job, we definitely can win this one. But they do rely on individual brilliance, and sometimes you just can't stop that. So I am always a bit afraid.
No, look, that's a very good observation of today's game, to be honest with you, Jack. Look, I'll throw the super chat to you, Jack. Guguma says 3-0 Spurs, Son Kane, lots of goals, please.
Oh, I would love lots of goals, Guguma. It's also good to see you back, Guguma, as well. I think Sonny Brace is the one that everybody, is talking about today. I think that's a must. I think it's probably the best prediction you can make, is the Sonny Brace. I see Harry Kane maybe getting back into things, maybe playing him in behind like we did last time in that 6-1 thrashing, David. So Sonny is going to come through here. He's Mr. Reliable. He is Mr. Tottenham at this rate as well. I really think Sonny's going to show up for us for this one. And I think he is a bit of a United killer as well. As much as I said, United are kind of my bogey team to a degree. Sonny is very feared by every other fan base and every other team. So Sonny's going to come through today for us, Kaguma. I see a brace from Sonny.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Big up, Kaguna. Really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Phil, what's your thoughts going into today's game, man?
Nervous because it's Tottenham, and probably more so because of United last week. It's whether or not they're going to get the reaction. We're looking at both sides to get a reaction, but they seem to have a little bit more heart than we do. But they are there for the taking. We are a great side. We're just kind of a little bit of misfiring. Yeah, they got loads of strength in depth and all of that, but it's how much do they really want it? And that's the point. I would say if Nuno watched 5-10 minutes of the after talk on Match of the Day or Sky Sports last week, he would know exactly how to set that team up. I think any of us could do it. They didn't hunt in packs. They went missing. So what that suggests is we need to be nipping the ball around really quickly on the floor, side to side, not our usual side to side, but in and out of the channels. And hopefully we'll come good. I'm going to keep saying the same thing. My grand, bless her, always said to me, Phil, never say never. So we have never beaten Man U at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Never. So I'm saying never. It's never happened. We've never beaten them. So today, come on.
Come on. Absolutely love that, Phil. And look, Wayne Bonner in the super chat says this game will be won by Skip and Højbjerg. Would you agree with him?
Yeah, yeah. You know, we'll have similar conversation every week. They are so important to us. They give that protection to the back four, allows Romero to step up and step out. What we just need is obviously a little bit more with their forward passing and everything. Because when they started it, even last week, once Skip started moving forward, the chances were coming, and it literally, because we weren't so clinical, was the only reason on reflection that we didn't get it. But yeah, those two are just absolutely critical. And the thought of that Papa Sarr coming in next season gives us another dimension as well. So, you know, yep.
It really does. It really does. And look, Wayne, you know, they're up against the walking McDonald's menu. You know, the two guys in midfield, McTominay and Fred. So absolutely love it. It'll be a crucial battle in there today. Big up Wayne Bonner, my man. Really appreciate the support, brother. And look, Josh, what's your thoughts heading into today's game?
I'm confident. I'm not going to lie to you. I am confident. Let's not forget 2018 when we played Man United. 11 seconds it took us to score a goal. 11 seconds. Let's do the same again. Let's do the same again. I think Liverpool have done us a favour in knocking their confidence. So it's as low as it can possibly be. We always seem to have a good game against United. I don't think there's ever been a landslide monumental victory for Man United against us in the last couple of years. So it's going to be a close game. I think in order for us to win, Romero needs to have Ronaldo in his pocket, and I think that's the best person to do it because, you know, in the Serie A last season, they were both there. Yeah. They were both there. They have experience against playing against each other. So I'm hoping that Romero can pick out these Ronaldo runs and just pocket him, absolutely pocket him. And we have to be more. We have to create the chances. I think that's the most important thing, and we have to be more detrimental in the finishing of those. Get the ball in the final third as much as we possibly can. Let Skip and Højbjerg dictate the pace of the game. I think that's the best way to do it. Don't keep passing it around the back. We need to push the ball forward. In terms of a back four today, I really want to see a Romero Sanchez start because I think that those two in the midfield were absolutely fantastic against Burnley. Yeah. I don't think this is the game for Eric Dyer because I think Eric Dyer would lose his head too quickly. We all know that Eric Dyer's a hothead, and I think he'll lose his temperament way too quick against United, especially when you got Ronaldo that's trying to win set pieces every 2 seconds of the game. Like, all you got to do is blow on him and he'll fall over. You can't have Eric Dyer against someone like that because Eric Dyer will lose his patience with them,
or even get too rattled, maybe just in general.
Yeah, exactly. He's a hothead. We know he's a hothead, which is why I've got this undying love for him. He's passionate. You know, he wants to play football, and I love that about him. But I just don't think today's the game for him. I want to see Sanchez and Romero start today. But like I said, in order for us to win, we've just got to be more detrimental with our chances. We've got to dictate the pace of the game. Use Højbjerg and Skip. Get the ball down to Sonny. Feed in Kane. Get some goals. Let's go. 3 points.
Absolutely love it, Josh. Great analysis. And Dark Sun G says if Son scores today, he will score 3 games in a row. Yeah. Well, how important has Sonny been so far this season, lad?
Oh, he's the top scorer, isn't
he? In the Premier League, not at the club.
Yeah.
He's so petty.
That's what I mean. Obviously, because you've got a raging stiffy for Harry Kane, like Harry Kane's a top scorer because of goals in Europe.
He was the one called upon, Josh.
Son wasn't given a chance to play in those games, man. One game I think I've counted Son in Europe. One game.
That's a good point.
Because Harry Kane was called upon. That's why.
Harry Kane's played how many games?
Harry Kane was going to get the goals. I know, look, in all seriousness, though, they're both important. And look, let's hope the two of them can link up today. You know,
100%.
Unlock this United defence. We really need them. We really need both of them on form today. And look, I have no doubt some will turn up. Let's see if Harry Kane can turn up today. You know, let's see. But big up, Dark Sun G. Really appreciate the support, my man. Really appreciate it.
He goes on streaks. I think that's what Dark Sun G is saying. He does go on streaks when he does get, he kind of turns red hot, Sonny, when he does score. It's not like he scores one and then just kind of falls off the pedestal. He sticks on it. So I think totally agree, Dark Sun G.
No, big up, Dark Sun G. Big yourself up. And look, Josh is speaking of creating chances, Look, most of Tottenham's stretch, Jack, they do come down the left-hand side. Look, regular on the Sun, they do create the most chances, Jack. It's a massive problem. It's still the same problem as last season before Gareth Bale got fit, ultimately ended up coming in and helping out on the right-hand side. but we're not creating anything through the middle. We're not creating too much off the right-hand side. How do we change this, Jack?
Yeah, it's kind of been kind of reliant on the left-hand side with Reguilon and Sonny. I think they have the most goal-creating actions out of any players on our team. They have some of the most shot-creating actions out of any players on our team. And then maybe through the middle, we've had moments, Dave, like, obviously against Burnley, a good example. We had two, through balls from Gio Lo Celso that came through to Harry Kane. We also had even Harry Kane play Gio Lo Celso through the middle at times. But we do kind of struggle sometimes at opening things up through the middle. And then the right-hand side has just been dead. It's just been dead out there. And I feel like we do need somebody that maybe can do something a bit similar to Gareth Bale. Lucas Moura, he likes to drift inside and receive the ball and pick up the ball a bit more inside, kind of play more like an inverted winger, kind of in that number 10 position over there. And so it has been kind of, a bit dead on the outside. We kind of relied on Emerson to basically create something out of nothing out there. And maybe that's the reason why it's been a bit dead, David. So maybe we need to expect Lucas to potentially, stretch the pitch a bit more out there on the right-hand side. But I think he is his best when he does drift inside. And sometimes Lucas Moura's crossing ability is not really the best, especially when he takes it down the byline. It really isn't too impressive. He's just a guy that likes to wreak havoc, skin man after man after man, drifting inside. So I think we just need someone else out there that potentially can help out maybe Emerson and do a bit better on the overlaps, because what happens is that Lucas drifts so far inside that there really isn't an overlap, I would probably argue, on that right-hand side. So it's actually quite easy then to mark Emerson whenever he drifts over there. That might be the reason why. It's just Gareth Bale did a good job sometimes of choosing when to cut inside, choosing when to stay wide, and then he would allow his fullback to overlap him. And maybe that was the reason why Gareth Bale is probably so successful out there. We just need someone that can stretch the pitch a bit more, because as brilliant as Lucas Moura has been, he really likes to just drift more inside and, kind of come into the middle of the pitch. And that's probably why, we really have struggled creating anything out there, David. It has been dead out there. And maybe we just need someone else, to come in for Lucas if he isn't having a great game, is what I would say, to help out Emerson with those overlaps.
Do you know what? Very good insight there, Jack. I really enjoyed that. Wayne Bonner says Skip and Hoiberg versus Chicken McNuggets. 100%. 100%. And we know what we'll be ordering on the McDonald's. I'll be eating plenty of them if we beat United today. Trust me, my man. But look, Phil, Jack alluded to the right-hand side. What about through the middle? Look, Ndombele, Lo Celso. What do we do there? Because it's clear to see we haven't replaced Christian Eriksen. We need someone in there. We've tried Dele, we've tried Ndombele, Lo Celso. What do we do? How do we sort it?
I think Tanguy's got an important part to play there. And, last week he sort of started dropping a little bit, but he's got to do more than just beat the first defender. He's then got to be looking at the killer passes, because he doesn't always do that, unfortunately. And I think Jack's absolutely right. You've got Lucas, who plays kind of on the right, but he cuts in. And then you've kind of got Lucas and Tanguy in a similar sort of place, a similar sort of role. And obviously the other concern with today is you've got Wan-Bissaka, who, love him or hate him, he's a great defender. So, Son's going to have his work cut out there. But with Tanguy, I think he's got to believe in himself. He's got to look up, and he's got to be thinking forward rather than sideways. A few times last week, he beat the first man, and then it's either back to Romero or out to Emerson. So whether Emerson needs to be bombing on, but have that confidence that Lucas is going to sit in there, it's just that forward penetration, because at the moment we have slow sideways rather than forward. And I think that's a big point for us. Yeah,
no, it is. It is. And Dark Sun G with the super chat says, I would play a 3-5-2 today. Lloris, Sanchez, Rodon, Romero, Tanganga, Reggie, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Skip, Lo Celso, Royal, Son, Kane. If not Kane, Lucas. No Dele or easy pass on the bench. Bring youths. Do you know what, Dark Sun G? Look, if you would have tried it against Burnley, I would have been all for it. Look, Jack, what do you think? Do you think today's maybe the day to try something like that?
The reason I would probably not do something like this is just because with that 4-2-3-1, if we play someone like Tanganga maybe at that right back position, David, we can actually kind of attack in a three in the back formation. We can have Reguilon maybe have a bit more kind of cover and assuredness, because Tanganga can kind of slip, into more of a back three when we're going forward. So that means we don't have to set up like a back three. And I think I'm going to take words from the very, very wise Shane from Paxton Road when he did say, maybe you set up in a certain defensive shape, but when going forward, you can actually break out a completely different type of shape or a completely different type of formation. So with the 4-2-3-1, we can actually break out into sort of like a 3 in the back kind of, formation going forward. That's what I would do personally for this match. But at the same time, with that 3-5-2, especially with maybe Sanchez, Rodon, or Romero there, and maybe Tanganga playing as a center back, you can find David actually some very, very good defensive assuredness. You can also have Romero play in the center, which he did at Atalanta. He played that libero role and, almost played like an extra center defensive mid, which could allow someone like Højbjerg to get further forward and maybe a Lo Celso to get further forward. It makes a lot of sense. I think both actually work. And maybe just to defend Dark Sun G here, a lot of, very wise, tacticians and, YouTubers outside of Spurs that aren't Spurs fans, David, they've said that's how we fix our problems, is we maybe switch towards a back three. And, they're probably not wrong at the end of the day. And I know Dark Sun G is rarely wrong either. So I would say for this one, Dark Sun G, I'm sticking with the 4-2-3-1. But in the future, I'd like to see us deploy that 3 in the back a bit more often.
No, 100%. There you are, Dark Sun G. I hope you enjoyed that answer from our very own Jack Kanicki. Beat yourself up, my man. Hope things are well. Everyone else, make sure you are smashing that like button. Make sure you're smashing that subscribe button. And feel free, to get a super chat in or two. Like I said, it just skips you in the queue in the chat. And it's a great way to support me and Jack on the journey, guys. And look, Josh, same to you. How do we solve our creative problem? Everything is coming down the left-hand side. We need more through the middle. We need a lot more from out right. How do we solve it? We need to.
If you want me to be perfectly honest, I think we follow suit in Liverpool and we play a 4-3-3. Because we saw how that formation was so detrimental against Man United. Like, Man United struggled. They genuinely did. I don't think playing 3 at the back is the right thing to do when you've got the likes of, you got Bruno Fernandes, Mason Greenwood, Rashford, and Ronaldo all pressing. Like, you're not going to be able to stop that. But 4-3-3, I think, would be the way to go. Have the normal back four that you'd have, and then I'd play Skip on the right, and then I'd play Højbjerg in the centre, and then I'm unsure as to who I'd play on the left. But then I'd have Son, Moura, and Kane up front, feeding the balls in.
Wouldn't you say, though, in the 3 in the back, like Atalanta did really well against them, they're 3 in the back. Leicester City did really well against them, they're 3 in the back. And then also, I wouldn't say that Ronaldo really presses or Greenwood really presses.
No, but he finds himself in space and he'll take advantage of the situation.
That's true.
Like I said, he will just dive. He will dive and dive. There's a reason he's called Penaldo, and there's a reason why Bruno's called Penandes. It's because they look for penalties. They look for penalties. 3 in the back is not the way to go. But no, I'd go 4-3-3 personally. But that's just
I guess
me.
what I meant is United have struggled against both. When you think about it, they've struggled against 3 in the back and 4-3-3.
We played 4-3-3 as well, and I actually think we look worse.
You reckon?
When we played the 4-3-3, yeah.
I'm just looking at where they went wrong against where they went wrong. Sorry, I'm having I'll try to get my words out. I'm looking at where they went wrong against Liverpool, and I think the first thing would have been the formation. They tried to play a 4-2-3-1 into a 4-3-3, and I don't think it worked for them. But if they're going to do the same thing again, I would just go for that formation. But again, if we want to play the 4-2-3-1 as well, let us. What needs to happen is we need to, like I said, the way for us to get the balls down the centre is we need to let Højbjerg and Skip determine the pace of the game. At the end of the day, they are the last point of call before you get to the back four. In an ideal world, the back four should never really come into any kind of question as to whether they're playing well or not. The ball shouldn't even be that deep in. Obviously, it's never going to happen. It's never going to be a case of the ball's never going to get there, because it always will. We know that. It's just it happens in every game. But we need to let the Viking and Skippy just determine the pace of the game. Play the ball down the side, to get the ball into the centre, finish these chances, get the goals, and we just need to find our mojo. Yeah. I think, and I think heavily relying on Skip and Højbjerg today would be the way to go.
Are we all thinking the 3-5-2 is the way because Nuno did that so much at Wolves? Whereas we've got generally a better level of players, haven't we, in those further positions? So
I mean, at the moment, I disagree with that.
Do you know what? For me, I just prefer the 4-2-3-1. I just think there's better balance to the whole team. I just think, once you do get the attacking options right, there is a lot of creativity there. But look, you can play like a 3-5-2 and be creative. You know, you can allow your wing backs to bomb forward, your 3 centre backs cover. You know, then you have your midfielders. As long as you have the right ball playing midfielders in there. Do we have the right ball playing midfielders in there? I don't think we do. And I think that's where it will ultimately become defensive, because you have Højbjerg and Skip in there. I know Højbjerg is good going forward, but he's not a chief creator, you know what I mean? He'll only get you so far up the field. He's more of an opportunist going forward. He sees the space, he'll take it. He sees a shot, he'll have one. But he's not really like a massive creator. So, look, I just prefer the 4-2-3-1. Look, in terms of creativity, look, especially today, I want to see more from that right-hand side. I'll be honest, I want to see Lucas stick out on that right-hand side, because Luke Shaw bombs forward. There's going to be a lot of space there.
Yep.
Give him the ball. Let him attack Maguire. Let Harry Kane make his runs off Lindelof. You're going to get goals today. Son will get inside Wan-Bissaka a couple of times today. It will happen. You know, look, for me, I think, look, to solve the creative problem, I still think we have to play the 4-2-3-1. It's about, look, I've said this many times. I think it's just about picking an Ndombele or a Lo Celso, and hopefully they perform on the day. You know what I mean? Hopefully the manager just kind of gets a good feel. And then, look, if he knows one of the player that he selected on that day's not on it, take him off, bring on the other one early, you know, and try and go for the game until we do solve that problem. Look, Ndombele can be the solution, but consistency, as we all know, is his problem. Yep. Same as Lo Celso. Consistency is Lo Celso's problem. So it's a major issue for us. But outright, look, with Lucas and Emerson, both Brazilian, hopefully they can form a partnership. Hopefully they can form a link-up. But, like, look, the massive problem for me is we just need to start putting balls in the box. We're not putting balls in the box. The stats show if you get balls into United's box, you're going to score goals. It's where they're most vulnerable inside the box. You do not get too many goals outside the box. Once you get that ball inside the box, they panic. They start fluffing their lines. So get balls into the box. We're talking about lack of goals. We're talking about lack of creativity. But that's because anytime we do get the ball outside on the wing, we're looking to always come back inside, play it through the middle, back out the other side, backwards, back across the back line. You know, it's so slow and lethargic. Sometimes, like, especially with United, if we get the ball, break fucking quick on them. Get down the one line, get balls into the box, cut inside, have shots, mix it up, pull the trigger from distance if it's on. You know, we really need everybody on it today. Ribsy85 says, nothing interesting to say, just support for you lads. Keep it up, you're legends. Really appreciate that, Ribsy. Big yourself up, my man. Really appreciate that. Kaguma says, really enjoying the panel. Big up. Thank you, Kaguma. Really appreciate the support, love.
Big up, Ribsy. Big up, Kaguma. Actual legends. Big up, Dark Sun G as well, of course. Really appreciate the support.
And the truth sets you free with the $1.24. And he says, don't spend it all in one place. Every little helps. You have no idea, my man. You have no idea, brother, how every little helps. But big yourself up. Look, Jack, today is being dubbed El Sacico. Is Nuno even under that much pressure at Tottenham?
I don't think he is, to be honest. I think it's a great name. You know, I kind of like to buy into it, you know, just for the fun of it, but I don't think it is. I think take me back a few days, David, when I said if he lost maybe that Carabao Cup match, I definitely would have said that, because if he gets knocked out of a competition or a cup competition early, I think that is definitely a worrying sign, because we do want to maybe make some sort of run in whatever cup, whether it's the Conference League, the Carabao Cup, or the FA Cup. I think we need to make a really significant run. And I do mean at least a semifinal, and then definitely a final in one of them. And he needs to focus on one of those. And if he got knocked out of that, I would have said, you know, El Sacico is on, like truly on. But I would say now it's definitely more just the pressures on Ole. And I think even some, you know, kind of periodicals or, you know, some kind of, you know, editorials and papers have said that the pressure really isn't as much on Nuno. It's more on Ole. But simultaneously, Dave, you know, we've you know, kind of either won matches or lost matches in the Premier League. We're not getting any draws. It's 3 points or no points. And that's been a really hard way to be as a Spurs fan right now. I would actually think that a point, you know, would be a decent result for Nuno here. And that would be a bad result for Ole. That's what I would probably say. So the pressure really isn't on Nuno. As much as people don't want that to be the case, I don't think the pressure is too much on him, especially after, you know, moving on in the Carabao Cup. But the moment he gets knocked out of a competition, I would say Nuno, the pressure will be on. The pressure will be on because he's going to have to, I think, remain in all our cup competitions. Whereas with Ole, I think they've even said deliberately he has 3 games basically to turn this around. So maybe we can be that one to just push the guy over.
Yeah, 100%. And look, Phil, what do you make of the criticism on Nuno? Look, you look at social media, it's where, this is his last game for Tottenham. It's a must win. What's your opinion on the whole thing?
I think the way social media has gone now, it basically gives everybody a voice and a platform straight off. So we could go one down in the first 5 minutes, and half the world tweets, Nuno out, and then it's trending, and it's like it's just not right. I think this is a must win for him, but it's not a must win or else. And again, we've talked about this. But if he's 10 games in, so if we bring a new manager in tomorrow because we've lost today. Are we saying to him, you've got till Christmas to turn it around and get us up into the top 4? Because whoever it is has got their own plans, their own methods, their own thoughts, and they've got to gel with the players and get them to think about that. And stuff doesn't happen. I know all of us want to be, in first place, challenging for the league and, in Europe next season, but we're not there. And you can't change it overnight. But I think that the pressure's on him because of the social media side. But I don't think there's pressure from the club that says, if you lose this, if you lose next week. I think Jack's right. If we suddenly were out of the Conference League and we're suddenly dropping in the league and possibly we'd gone out this week, then maybe. But, the club would just look absolutely foolish if they binned him off now, Yeah,
and I guess the other thing, right, Phil, was, everybody's referenced it, even though I don't think Nuno is the next Poch, but people did say, Nuno, had even a better record going into it so far than Poch started. And that's kind of been the damning evidence is maybe we do got to give a guy more time, and by no means am I saying though that Nuno is the next Poch, but yeah, just to further your point, sorry.
No, but unfortunately, we won't know that until we've given him a little bit of time. I mean, right. Let's get all funny and say, let's say we sack him, we lose today, we sack him, and he goes to employment tribunal, and he goes, well, I've had 10 games. And they went, well, 10 games, what? Yeah, and I've had internationals that have come in, I've had COVID, I've had injuries, I've had all of this. It's just, it's not what you call a level playing field. You would hope that between him and Paratici, they've got a plan, they're building for the future, and we want that future to be today, but the future is maybe not this season, maybe it's into next season, but you have to build, and you have to stick with him for now. But he does need to be more decisive in games. I do think that's a side of him where he's probably not helping himself, but he made a few changes the other night, did them a little bit earlier. So, hopefully he's listening.
Positives where you can take them, Philip.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And look, Josh, where do you stand at? Look, you see on social media a lot of pressure being put on him. In the general fan base, I kind of gather that it's not really as much on him as social media would lead you to believe. What's your thoughts on the whole Nuno situation? Give him time, or do you think some quarters are right for calling?
I'm in two minds about it because I'm behind him 100%. There's no if buts or maybes about it. Like he's our manager and we have to get behind him. As for now, what I don't understand, right? Well, what I don't actually like is that no matter come rain or shine, if he wins, loses or draws, there are still going to be people that are calling for his head on the chopping block. Because we know that he's not the first choice manager, and all we want is someone that plays the Tottenham way of football. And ultimately, he doesn't play that way. We know that it's been shown time and time again that he doesn't play the fast forward attacking kind of football that we want him to play. However, if he starts to get the results, then I think we need to stick with him until the end of the season and then look at our options then. If, however, we lose against Man United and then we fail to get some results throughout November, because I think there's only 2 fixtures in November because of international break. But if we don't get the results that we need in November, then I think December time we need to start looking at a new manager. But as for right now, I'm 100% behind him. But again, that's just me. The majority of the fan base is so indecisive as well. 1 minute they want him gone, 1 minute they want him to stay, and then you've got the fans that are just straight up Nuno out, regardless of whether we win or lose. In terms of today, I think the pressure is more on Ole than it is on Nuno, because Ole, we as Spurs fans, we know that we're not good enough to do a lot. Man United are looking. They've been wanting to win the league for years, and they want to win trophies. And the way that they're playing at the moment, and the results that they're getting, they're not going to do that. And they're going to want a manager that wants to do that. They're going to be looking at their options as well, because I think there are so many managers that would see Man United as a massive turning point. So the pressure's more on him, because if he wants to keep his job, if he loses his job, there's another manager that will happily come. Yeah, sign the contract, done. See you later.
Yeah.
There isn't that many people for Spurs. So the pressure is more on Ole than it is for Nuno this week.
No, I agree with you. Look, Ole Gunnar shoe shiner. Everybody get them cleats out. The dirty ones. Make sure you bring them. If you only have clean ones in your house, which I expect most of you do, just run around, jump in a few puddles. Kick some gravel about. Make sure they're nice and dirty, and get the shoe shiner to come in and do his job. Make sure, because look, he could be looking for a job after today. So you probably see him out in the car park offering to buff the shoes of Spurs fans today. Look, in terms of Nuno, I think we just have to give him. I think we have to give him longer. I'll be honest with you. I think you have to give him a bit more time. It's not as easy just saying sack him, go and get this manager, go and get that manager. We've already had our ashes burnt by that already. 72 days, and ultimately we went back for Nuno, who was not first choice. You know what I mean? We kind of bypassed him and ended back on him. But look, for me, I think we just have to stick with it for the time being, see what he can do. I think he started out with a 4-3-3 to solidify the defence. He's now done that. Now he's trying to change to a 4-2-3-1. Hopefully now we can start, improving chances created and our goals scored and stuff like that. And then who knows, maybe, we can really push on this season and see what we can do. Look, it's a bit of a transitional season, and I just think we're going to have to sit here and be patient. But obviously, if things are really that bad, you don't want to be too patient. So it's about finding that right line. But right now, I don't think he's under as much pressure as the media would like to make it out to be honest with you. Just a couple of super chats to get through here. Jack, Dark Son G wants to know, would you use Son as a 1 and use Stevie, Lo Celso and Lucas as a 3? I think this would work for pressing, because I saw that Maguire fridge is bad versus high press. Look, actually, I'll take this one, Jack. I'll give you the next one. Do you know what? I was thinking about this, Dark Son G. Why not put Kane in the centre attacking midfield role? He was chief creator last season. You know what I mean? Why not put him there? Give him a go. Put Son up front. Lucas out one side, and Stevie or whoever out the other side. Press the living crap out of them today. Leicester done it. Liverpool done it. And look at the results they got. We done it last year in the 6-1. Look at the result we got. United will try and pass it out from the back, and they're not capable. So let's get at them. And it's a very interesting thought, that Son G, I have to say. I was thinking about that. But I wouldn't trust a Lo Celso. See, the thing is, you can put Kane up there, or you can put Son up there, Bergwijn, Lucas to press. That way, Kane isn't. You're not expecting Kane to press as much, because he just can't do it anymore. He just can't. With his ankle injuries, he's a big enough lad. It's all taking its toll. He cannot do that pressing game anymore. So what he will be able to do is then, press him at Tommy or press him at Fred, surely, to be able to stop them playing through the lines into midfield. So I'm pretty sure. Look, Daxon G, I actually think that's a brilliant point, my man.
Yep.
Beat yourself up, brother. And we have another super chat here, Jack, from Dara. He says, question for the panel. Is Nuno the right manager for Spurs? A yes or no answer. As Spurs fans, we don't demand enough. Look, first of all, before I get the yes or no answer for you, Dara, look, for me, I agree with you. We don't demand enough. But right now, we have to take stock of where we are. Look, I'm going to flip the question a little bit. I'm going to say, in terms of right now, look, in terms of going forward for the future, is Nuno the right man for Spurs? No, not for me. But I'm going to give my answer after that. So, Jack, we'll give him a yes or no answer first.
Yeah, I'm gonna honor his question here. I'm going to say no, but then I'm going to digress the whole time. I'm going to give my answer as no, but I'm going to digress and say there are a lot of managers that we did go after this summer that just simply refused us. You have Ten Hag that refused us. You had Graham Harry Potter that refused us. You had Conte that refused us, and you have plenty others that refused us as well. So it kind of did eventually just fall on Nuno as being the one that we went for. And to a degree, that just makes it kind of, a bit, kind of a sad situation, Dave, where he's just not been everyone's first choice. He wasn't even Partitu's first choice, just wasn't really anybody's first choice, or really anybody that Spurs wanted. And That's where I do feel like when you do take that into consideration, Dara, I would say it is a no. But at the moment, I would say he is trying his best, and maybe even Phil brought up earlier, though, the guy's not been handed a good hand of cards. He's handed the horrible international breaks where players are going to prison, players are getting COVID. He also was handed, the Harry Kane situation over the summer where Harry Kane, showed up late to training, is kind of, getting his way back into things. He's basically been playing without a firing Harry Kane in the Premier League, which is, I would say a very hard thing to deal with. He probably was relying on that. And I think any manager in their own right would rely on that. And then as well, he hasn't had to a degree, the best form or consistency from certain players as well. So I think he hasn't been handed the best deck of cards or the best hand of cards. But I would answer no. But then simultaneously, I think we have to realize as Spurs fans, we do need to demand more. But then that just goes up to the people upstairs, because the people upstairs were the ones that made it so that Ten Hag, Conte, Graham Potter, etc. The reason they said no was because of Daniel Levy and because of the investment and because of the squad of players that we have at the moment. So it is kind of a two-part answer, Dara. But again, I would say no.
Yeah,
100%. Phil, yourself,
I'm going to be very similar to Jack. I'm going to say no. No, he would never be your first choice, but he's what we've got. I genuinely believe he's doing the best that he can. So that's always a great start. Yeah. But more importantly, if suddenly Klopp or Guardiola or Conte signed with us tomorrow, in that short time, would they be able to turn it around, knowing everything else that goes on at the club? So, yes, it might have made a difference to the Harry Kane situation, but you still had unhappy players, your international breaks. There's so much more than just playing football. And the bit that says, as Spurs fans, we don't demand enough, I think we do. But I go back to the bit when they announced the Super League, and, one of my good friends, he lives here in Newport. He drove to Manchester. They broke into the stadium. They were running all over the pitch because they did absolutely everything to make sure that they got noticed. Whereas we grumbled a bit on our forums and stuff like that. And there was a few that sort of went to the ground, and we didn't do as much as some of the other clubs could have done. And when you have that level of demand, unfortunately, Voldemort at the top there just goes, well, it's not a big problem. Man U, they broke into the ground. There was 2,000 people there. They were petitioning in the street. Here, we had a few people outside holding up a flag. And I'm not criticising the ones that did it, not by any stretch. But I think generally as a club, we could do with doing more, because we really want to make sure your likes of Levy understand exactly how we feel. And right. I don't know if he does. I don't know if he's got his PA that just goes, oh, there's a bit of unrest in the stadium, they might moan a bit, or whatever it is. But yeah, so your demanding side of it is, I think we're probably a little bit off the pace for, in line with the other clubs. And Nuno's just got to do the best that he can, and that's what we've got at the moment.
Interesting. And look, Josh, yourself, is Nuno the right man for Spurs? That's what Dara wants to know.
Ultimately, no. I wholeheartedly stand by that. I think personally, I think Jack would be a great manager for Tottenham, but that's neither here nor there. No, but I mean, as a long-term manager, I don't think he's the one. However, we have to make do with what we've got right now, and I kind of feel sorry for Nuno in a sense that he's being used as a scapegoat. He is our last choice manager. Let's not get it twisted. Like, we did approach some great managers over the summer in that 72-day period. And we got rejected by half of them. Graham Potter said no. Graham Potter's got a degree in psychology. He's a sports psychologist as well as a manager. So from my understanding, from what I can make out, he's probably analysed Levy and been like, no, I don't want to work for him.
He just saw through.
The thing is, right, I think if Nuno had the right board, he could be a potentially world-class manager. I genuinely think that, but it has to be with the right team. I don't think Spurs is that team for him. There are plenty of other very, very suitable placements, but again, we're not going to get anyone world-class as long as we've got Levy at the wheel, because Levy just drives people away. Every great manager that we've seen, grace the likes of every club, have been given a hefty transfer budget. They've got a board that is fully behind them, and it seems like everything that Nuno wants to do, Levy undermines him. We need someone that can work with Levy. I don't think Nuno's that man.
Yeah, look, for me, long term, I don't think Nuno is the man. Look, for me, I think he was brought in interim just to kind of, get us through a bit of a transitional period, and then we're going, hopefully, get in the right man for the job and build from there. But look, why he's here, there's no point in sitting there and going, well, I didn't want him from the start, this, that, and the other. It's not doing anybody any good. At the end of the day, you got to give the man a chance. Look, I actually think he has a better team to work with than Jose Mourinho. I do think probably he should be getting a little bit more. But look, it's a bit opposite from last season. Last season, the defence was a shambles. Going forward, we were unbelievable. This season now, we can't create chances, but our defence is rock solid. So it's a bit of a tough one to take because we all want to see chances created. We all want to see goals, So it's a bit of a catch-22 situation right now. But look, Nuno for me, give him a bit of time. Let's see if he can, get more out of our attacking players going forward. Let's see if what he can do. I want to say a big shout out to a few people. Ellie's in the house. Big yourself up. MS is in the house. Look, MS, I get what you're saying, my man. But look, let's go into the game hopeful. It's all we can have right now. So let's clutch that with both hands and go in. Going with a bit of hope. Let's go in with a bit of belief that the boys can turn it around because United are open at the back. And look, we have to open fire at some stage. Why can't today be the day? Why can't it, Let's get Ollie sacked. Let's make a show, United. Let's show them up. Let's embarrass them like they were embarrassed last weekend by the Scousers. And let's get it done. But look, moving on, Jacko. With Pogba being suspended, does this give us an advantage in the midfield battle today?
To a degree, it does. I mean, the guy has 7 assists, David, which just can't be sniffed at. I know he got most of those in one game, but just speak to the fact that, Pogba can create something out of nothing at times. He's also been a bit of a kind of a Spurs killer, at moments. He has been kind of a bit of our bogeyman. He's really found, time and space, against us, especially when he was playing out on that kind of left flank at one point, David. He was causing absolute havoc towards us. He does, have that world-class ability in putting a ball in the box, just like Bruno does. And I think what you do maybe have is Bruno and Pogba, as much as Pogba is a bit of a toxic player, when Pogba is up for it, Bruno and Pogba are very dangerous together because they can create so much together. And I do feel like if we maybe play, if we just take Bruno out of the game, then I do think you take a lot of the creativity away from Manchester United. And I think that could be crucial. Whereas if you have Bruno and Pogba on the pitch at the same time, those are two very creative players, and it's almost impossible to take them both out of the game. So it is actually maybe a bit of a help to us. Pogba doesn't press or, help in any way whatsoever, but he is a bit of a tempo setter. He is able to dictate, play from, deep as well as, up top as well. And he is, a bit of an unselfish player, when it comes to feeding his teammates, and he can take a shot from distance. And again, we're talking about players that, rely on individual moments, players that rely on their individual class. Pogba is certainly one of them. I am sometimes, as much as I am not afraid of the hair or the antics or anything, David, I am sometimes afraid of that ability. He has scored some pretty world-class goals, against every team in the Premier League. So I think we just have to take that into consideration. I think it actually will help us out a lot with Pogba not being available, especially if Bruno is taken out of the game. Bruno will be all by himself in that creative department, which means he won't have Pogba to help him out. They'll just have to stick with McFred or McMatic and whatnot. And I think that actually plays in our hands, if you ask me.
No, absolutely love it. And look, Kuva99 Jack says, what rebuild? Winks, Deli, Davies, Doherty's still here. Still no replacement for Ericsson or second striker. Anyone know Nuno's plan? It changes every week. So how can we be building for it? Josh, do you want to answer this?
Yeah, no, I will take it. The reason we've got the likes of Winks, Deli, Davis and Doherty still in our team is because Levy overprices them. Realistically, who's going to want to pay anything more than 10 million for Doherty? Realistically,
that's generous.
Even that's generous. Realistically, who's going to pay anything more than 10 million for Davis? Realistically, who's going to want to pay anything more than 25 million for Dele Alli?
In the pandemic market as well.
In the pandemic market, this is the reason why these players are still here, because we overpriced them. Levy has put a massive price, not only on the players, but on the club as well. Levy thinks we're worth more than what we actually are. Now, don't get me wrong, we are worth a fair amount of money, but I don't think it's nowhere near the estimation that Levy's put on us. And because he put such a high price tag on players, they're taking up wage gaps. This is a massive wage bill that we're taking up because of players that aren't worth what he's asking for. That's why there's been no rebuild, which is why our transfers are limited because we won't sell. We will not sell. Levy wants to make as much money on these players as he possibly can, which is why these players are not. Which is why they haven't left. What needs to happen is he needs to be a bit more realistic with his fees, and in that way we bring a little bit more money in. We say we sell 4 players, we bring in 2 absolute giants in the game. That's enough for a rebuild there, I think. But ultimately, what needs to happen is Levy needs to be a little bit more realistic, put a lot more faith in Paratici, put a lot more faith in Nuno for right now, and then we move forward.
And Jack, anything you want to add to that? Anything you want to say?
Josh said that perfectly. He really did. In the case of not replacing Eriksen, I totally agree. We know, especially the free kick ability. We have nobody that can take free kicks that can even get it over the wall. Kuva, it seems like at this rate, we do need to replace Eriksen. But maybe just to kind of bounce off of what Josh just said, Levy doesn't give Paratici, I think, enough money or enough time to be able to replace some of these roles. I think we did sign key positions that needed filling right away. We needed a world-class center back. Everybody knew that. We did need a world-class right back to come in. I think Emerson isn't that yet, but I think he eventually will be there. And then we do have Tanganga's backup. When you look at it last season, there's just nothing out there on the right-hand side as a competent fullback. So those were 2 very crucial positions that we did have to sign. Everybody was crying out for a right winger as well. Brian Hill can basically play across the front line. He will be able to learn that right wing position. And, then from there, Levy didn't give him enough money after that. Just simply didn't, and he didn't want him to, to pay any more fees, because then that would have been something well over, I think, the 100 million mark, which I think is pretty much, kind of the limit or the ceiling for Levy in a window. I'm thinking that this January window, we are going to maybe find replacements for Eriksen. We are going to maybe shift on some players. And also what we just mentioned, these 4 players right here, we can't have too many players on the wage books. These guys are all making 80, 90, 100K a week, those players right there. So it's actually a lot of wages as well. So we have to move them off, get them off the wages, and then we can replace the likes of Eriksen. And of course, the second striker, we all know is absolutely needed. And I do feel like Levy and as well as Paratici did kind of drop the ball on that one. But then at the same time, I don't think they realized, how the Harry Kane situation was going to turn out. So I think hindsight is also perfect vision.
100%. And Phil, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I was just going to sort of echo that. I'd looked the other night before it came on at the wage structure at the club. So Dele Alli is the 5th highest earner at our club. He's 150K a week. He earns more than a World Cup winner or our captain. And for the last 3 managers, they're basically not giving him the look in. So if you work that over a year, it's 7 million a year. So the next 3 years of his contract, that's already 20, 25 million. So whatever you're looking at your price, you've got to bear in mind you're saving. So he might not get, I'm sure his value is probably 40 or 50, but realistically, I think Josh is absolutely spot on. If somebody came in with 25 now and any of us were chairman, you would sell Dele Alli in a heartbeat, because he's just gone beyond it. But Winks is 70, Davis is 70 a week, Doherty is 70, 80, and they're not adding anything to that. I think with the replacement for Eriksen, I genuinely believe they've tried. I think they thought Tanguy and Lo Celso could do the job. The trouble is now is they've spent big on both of them and they're not doing that job. So now it's a difficult situation. But it's been like that for 2 years. It's not like we bought him in the summer and it's like, well, they're 10 games in and they're not doing it. And as regards to the second striker, God only knows why we haven't got one, because it just puts pressure on Kane or Son, or, we're calling for Scarlett, who is going to be great, but he's nowhere near ready for the Premier League. There is no way, if we suddenly found out now Kane was injured, we'd all be thinking, well, Scarlett will start tonight. He could do it, because he's not there yet. And that goes down to your board. So they've got to be more investment, but better investment. But I think Paratici's starting that, because you see what he's doing.
Yeah, 100%. A big up, Kuva, my man.
Great question,
really appreciate
Kuva.
the support, brother. Great talking point. Same as Dara. And I hope the 2 of you enjoyed the answers to your super chats, guys. Big yourselves up. Everyone, we will be going for about another, 20, 25 minutes, guys. So, feel free to smash that like button, smash that subscribe button if you are new to the chat, to the channel. And feel free to get in a super chat or 2, guys, to help support me and Jack on the journey. And it is a great way to skip the chat, which is absolutely flying right now, guys. But look, back to you, Phil. Where am I? Yeah, do you fear a United backlash after their spanking at the hands of Liverpool?
Yeah, because they do react. It's like, I didn't watch the Atalanta game, but as soon as it popped up saying they were 2-0 down, I'm like, I'll have a bit of that. And they went in at half time and you were like, there's only one winner here. This is it. It's all over. But they came out and it was like a different side. They'd obviously either had a rollicking or they sat and look at each other and gone, do you know what? It's not good enough. And that risk is there. But with that is, if we get after them early on and we do like Liverpool and we score early, it could be very deflating for them. So I think that's absolutely key. And for me, I talk about it every week. You got to start at 100 miles an hour. I think Josh mentioned earlier the 10 seconds at Wembley. I mean, we all remember that now. That just killed the game off. It's 11 seconds in, game's done, because United were just absolutely deflated. And the same thing could happen tonight. Whereas if they score first, they'll get the momentum and we'll start going, So it's just a big one. But with regards to their backlash, they are definitely going to be up for it. They've been humiliated by their biggest rivals and at home, in one of their biggest defeats in the Premier League in a long time, other than us. That's going to hurt. And they're going to want to do something about it. And, we're next in the road. So let's hope we just do what Liverpool did and take them apart.
I hope so. And I absolutely love that. You're getting me pumped up, Philip. So yeah, I told you need to be taking over these pre-match pump-ups now. Every time I speak to you get me riled up. But look, Josh, what does Nuno and our players need to do in order to find some consistency to their game? Because right now it's very up and down. You win one, you lose the next. What do they have to do to find this consistency, Josh?
I think most importantly, we like I said, we have to dictate the pace of the game. Man United, it's going to happen. Man United is going to be one of two ways. They're either going to be very, very composed and come out the gate looking to pick us apart, or they're going to come at us full speed. Now, given the result they had against Liverpool, I genuinely think they're going to come out all guns blazing, looking for some sort of redemption. But as a wise man once said, do not fight fire with fire. They could potentially be trying to put out a fire with more gasoline. The way that they're playing, we just need to remain level-headed. We need to dictate the pace of the game, create the chances, score the goals, convert, and put them to bed early. We need to make sure Ronaldo doesn't get a look in. Romero, I'm looking at you. We need to make sure that Harry Kane actually gets the deliveries from the midfield, and a lot of people need to stop getting. And so, but people will stop giving Kane slack that way as well. Like it's not Kane's fault he hasn't scored many. It's the deliveries that he hasn't been receiving. So we need to focus on Harry Kane. I think ultimately we need to create the chances for Harry Kane. And we also need to dictate the pace of the game. I think that if we're going to win, that's what we need to do.
No, 100%. I couldn't agree more. Absolutely love that. Jacko, back to you, my man. You look, United they're ranked 20th in tackles, duels won, errors leading to shots, and losing possession in defence leading to shots. With these stats in mind, combined with the blueprint Leicester and Liverpool created, and the one that Jose created in the 6-1 thrashing, surely the way to beat United is by pressing the back line high.
Yeah, I mean, Harry Maguire is kind of an interesting case. It seems like he has moments of brilliance on the ball, but then he also has moments where he can be kind of very flat-footed or almost, I would dare say this actually, unathletic even at times, where he doesn't really, receive the ball with a lot of composure. He even makes plenty of mistakes. And then you could say the same thing about usually the right-sided center back. That's often been the case of Lindelof or Eric Bailly. And as well as, I would say even Aaron Wan-Bissaka, David, is certainly not too great on the ball at times. He can also play, maybe a bad hospital pass in towards a player. And then even McFred and McTominay, I would say sometimes when pressed can be actually caught out. I would not say the case with McTominay as much. Sometimes McTominay has a pretty good touch and, can carry it out of the defense. But you do think about it, Harry Maguire can really get caught on the ball very flat-footed. And so you definitely need someone like Lucas pressing very hard, especially since Lucas will be on Harry Maguire's side. We need him to make life very, very difficult for Harry Maguire. And he does play that left-sided center back role, David. So when he is caught flat-footed, he then has to make a decision of either to play a dangerous pass into the middle or try to play Luke Shaw. But if Lucas is making that pass to Luke Shaw very difficult, Harry Maguire will struggle with that. And think that only means then, players like Lucas as well as Sonny are going to have to press really hard. And maybe that, going back to that Harry Kane number 10 role could make a lot of sense, because if you then put on someone like Bergwijn as well, in that front line, you then have a front three that can press really hard and can press really narrow. And then you have someone like Harry Kane, when they do pick up the ball, can, play the passes, can, dictate the play and be able to find those guys in behind. I actually like that kind of tweak, David. I think it could work. But having a very strong front three press will make life very difficult for them. We have to take that out of their book, as well as Atalanta did the same thing as well. They also, in the beginning of the game, pressed them very high up the pitch and made life very difficult for them. I think it's not rocket science, David. They have struggled against it. We just need to make sure that, the players, this is going to be cliche, the players have to be up for it. They have to want it, because when it comes to pressing, you have to want it. You have to sacrifice that bit of energy. You have to sacrifice your bit of, kind of legs in you in the beginning of the match. You have to get tired. You have to, basically put your heart out there. And I hate all the cliche lines, David, but that's what's needed when you're trying to press a team like Man United. You have to want it.
No, 100%. That I agree with that. And look, Phil, maybe are we asking for the impossible? We haven't really seen our team press so far this season. Is it something that they can implement during the week and get out there and do it, or are we asking for the impossible?
No, I think we're asking for the difficult. But you were saying earlier about possibly Kane being behind, or if you look at the 4-2-3-1 formation, so you got Kane up top, you can easily switch that very quickly in a game that he just drops back and he sits behind them. But maybe that's the point for the press. Maybe it's the three fast ones that are doing the pressing, because Kane just doesn't look fully committed to the press. So, and I think when he doesn't do it, I don't know if the other guys are then thinking, well, we'll carry on and do it. So I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, they need to be pressed. Looking at Man U stats, they're low on all their defensive ones. So it's a game that we just got to go after. They've got to get the ball and just keep going and going and going. And I think it will come.
No, 100%. I couldn't agree more with that, Philip. Couldn't agree more with that. Look, Josh, in my opinion, we beat them last season 6-1 with a worse team. Surely there's a chance in today's game, considering we have a better team than last year, no?
That was at Old Trafford. That weren't at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. However, Old Trafford ain't a fortress.
We still 6-1 last year. It's United.
Yeah. Old Trafford ain't a fortress no more. You know what I mean? I think we yet to make a mark on that ground. I'm not going to lie. We need a landslide victory to just sort of just to mark our territory a little bit. I mean, we've had some decent, we've had some good results. We've had some decent results, but I don't think anything quite shouts out a 6-1 victory over Man United. We need something else like that. We need a repeat of something like that, like quite a monumental victory. I think that's what we need. That's what we need.
Do you feel like, Josh, maybe especially since this team is already going into this a bit rattled, and it is kind of, I think the first goal is really important, because these players on Man United, they actually get, they throw temper tantrums, pretty quickly, and they actually start, barking at each other, get a bit sulky and everything and whatnot, and they get rattled actually kind of quickly. Do you feel like that means then it also is kind of responsibility of the fans to make it a very harsh atmosphere for them? So if it does go wrong for them, then we can even, it's almost like it's a second defense, having 100%. The fans then behind, his full voice. I think it actually can make, because they're already very sensitive at the moment, these Man United players. So if the fans make it difficult for them, you could argue that, might even help the victory even more, ensure it even more.
100%. They all, like everyone's always said, the 12th man in football is the home support. If we get behind the team and we just drown out United and we really get into their heads, then we know that we can win this. And we at the moment, Man United are wounded. They're like a wounded animal, and we need to be the predator. We need to smell. We smell blood, and we just need to act on it. Yeah. Ultimately, that's what it is. We need to be aggressive, but we haven't been aggressive enough. What needs to happen is we need to go from second gear all the way to sixth gear in the aggression and just go for it. Don't hold back. If in doubt, get the ball forward. That's literally all we need to do. It's going to take one opportunity for Man United to fluff their lines, and we get in and we cane them. That is literally all we need to do.
100%. 100%. I couldn't agree more. Jack, will United sit back and try to counter, or do you actually see them trying something different this match? Will it be better for us if they did sit back, or would it be better if they did try to press us?
I think it actually is going to suit their hands if they do go for that, kind of a low block, defense, because like I said, it actually suits the players like McTominay, Matic, or Fred a bit more. If they try to be a bit more, aggressive, they try to maybe dictate the play a bit more and press us, they could lose the ball in a bad situation, and then we can counterattack them. We're actually two teams that I think are, we have the potential of being a good counterattacking team with the press that with the pace that we have of Sonny, with the pace that we have of Lucas, as well as the distribution of either Tanguy / Gio, and also Harry Kane, of course, David. So you do think about it that way. If they lose the ball in a bad position, Manchester United, then we can be able to hurt them in that sort of way. But also as well, though, if they were to sit in a low block kind of defense, that could mean then that they would be counterattacking us. And I do think that they are a deadly team on the counterattack. They have a lot of pace up front. They have a lot of players that do know how to put a good shot on target, know how to bury the chances that are put in front of them. And they do rely on individual class and moments. So I would say in terms of Ole's case, I think it actually suits them more to sit back against us. But that just means, David, maybe as a bit of positivity, we have placed two teams that have sat 11 men behind the ball. And now we've had a bit of experience with that. Burnley, we had 11 men behind the ball against us. And then also West Ham put 11 men behind the ball. So we've actually been playing that sort of game recently. I just feel like we just need to take a few more risks, be a bit more creative in the middle of the park, as well as the right-hand side, like we said before, David. I think in Ole's case, he should sit back. That would probably ensure maybe a better result for his sake, for his career. But at the same time, we've also had a bit more experience maybe going up against teams that have put 11 men behind the ball. So, yeah, that would be my answer.
No, absolutely love it, Jack. Absolutely love it. Phil, of course, we can't really escape the show without talking about the big man up front for them. And I suppose us, we will get onto the big man for us shortly. But Phil, how do we stop Cristiano Ronaldo? Is it maybe throw a few Coke bottles around? Hopefully he's more interested in them than the game, or what do we do?
Mr. Romero. I think he covered him last year. I think if he's coming out early for those balls, if he's following him, Ronaldo's not going to, he's still going to get a couple of chances. Don't get me wrong. But, the worst thing you want when you're a striker is some big, hairy defender up on top of you all the time. Every time I'm going to get the ball, there it is. He's there at the back. And that's what he does. And I think it's possibly why it might be better for someone like Sanchez, because even if Ronaldo goes to the other side, Sanchez is still that player. He's just not quite as good, or may give away the foul. But from that point of view, it's literally cut it off at source, because then they've got the two wideies. So your Greenwood, he's good, but Rashford on the other side, he's inconsistent. You wouldn't be surprised if he scored a 40-yarder, but you wouldn't be surprised if he missed from 6 yards out. So for me, he's not good enough. Their main threat comes through the middle, and it comes from Ronaldo. And yeah, we got to rely on Christian to take care of business, I think.
No, 100%. I couldn't agree more. Look, the last person I kind of want to touch on is maybe a bit about Harry Kane. And look, we'll start with Josh and work our way around the panel. Josh, Harry Kane, how important is it he shows up today?
100%. It's crucial. It's crucial. But again, for Harry Kane to turn up, you need everybody else to turn up. The deliveries need to be put into Harry Kane. At the end of the day, this is a team game. And as much as we sit here and rely heavily on one player, what needs to happen is we need to rely on the whole team to show up.
Yep.
For us, we need to be more aggressive. We need to create more chances. Ultimately, that's the only way Harry Kane is going to show up today, is if the whole team shows up. That's what it's going to take.
Maybe also because it motivates him as well, Josh. It holds him accountable too when you think
100%. 100%. We know that Harry Kane is a world-class striker. He's undeniably the best striker in the world. And he's going through a run of poor form at the minute. What needs to happen is he needs a confidence boost. He needs a confidence boost. And I think that the best way to do that, 10th minute goal, dictate the pace of the game, create as many chances as we possibly can, break down an already broken Man United team even further, even more. Like I said, they're wounded. We need to be the hunter and not the prey today. Ultimately, that's what it's going to be.
Right.
Love that.
Couldn't agree more. And look, Jack, what does Harry Kane Harry Kane needs to be doing differently, as well as maybe obviously giving him more chances, more balls into the box? But is there anything Harry Kane needs to be doing differently today? And do you think maybe he will, maybe the likes of Ronaldo, Rashford, Sancho, all guys that are hunting for his England spot as well, coming to the fore that it might actually motivate him today?
I think he needs to be a bit more clinical first. We've seen moments where he hasn't been as clinical. The old Harry Kane would put away those chances. I'm not even just, talking about that Burnley, moment. I am actually talking about that Aston Villa match, David, where we missed a few one-on-ones, Harry Kane included, Sonny included. But we know Sonny's been a bit more lethal, especially because Sonny did win us the game in that Aston Villa match. So Harry Kane, he needs to be able to finish some more of these one-on-ones. He's been given really good opportunities, to be, the old Harry Kane. He just hasn't taken it. And I think that's what connects to, Josh's kind of moment where he is a bit out of confidence. And every world-class striker, when they're missing confidence, like, it doesn't matter how good they are, they will, maybe not be the same version of their old self. And I think we need to find a way to give Harry Kane those moments, especially with a big match like this one, David. You really would like to think that Harry Kane has that mental fortitude, has that mental strength where he is given maybe a perfect opportunity to bury it, David. And I think against Man United at home in front of the Tottenham Hotspur crowd, David, I anticipate that he will do it. And then also he would be able to win a bit of that credit back, win a bit of that, that love back from the fans, because he knows he's missing it. He really knows he's missing it. And I think that would be all the more motivation for him. Even just an assist, though, David, I think if he were to have some sort of world-class ball in behind for Sonny or some world-class ball in behind for Lucas, like he did for Gio, I would say, because I think we do miss that moment with Gio where he had that, Meg through ball where Gio just, didn't take that chance. We all probably would have been saying, if Gio buried that, like, oh, look at the world-class distribution of Harry Kane and whatnot. This is the great hold-up play we always talk about. But sometimes the players just don't finish it. So he either needs to, use that distribution power that he always has, or when he's given the opportunities, which he has been given those opportunities, he needs to be a bit more clinical.
Yeah. No, 100%, 100%. Look, Phil, where do you stand with the Harry Kane situation at the minute? Look, what does he have to do today to maybe get himself firing?
I do agree. He's probably not. He seems that he's a little bit off the pace and he's not quite there sort of mentally. What I would like to see is what we saw in the first sort of 10, 15 minutes against Burnley, where he's more demanding. So he's well within his rights to be shouting if he doesn't get the pass or he doesn't get the through ball or anything like that, and for him to not be afraid to take a shot, because I'd rather he took 10 shots and scored one than took no shots and got one on target. You need Harry Kane to do what Harry Kane does best, and that's score goals, shoot, and pass. So if something of that's missing, you've got to give him every opportunity you possibly can to deliver that. And, I'm really hoping he comes good. People like him, they don't lose all their quality, in 3 months since the end of last season. He was phenomenal last season. Maybe he needs to just have a look at him, talk to himself before he goes out, and he's like, look in the mirror and be like, you're Harry Kane. You're one of the best. Top goal assists last year, top goal scorer. Go and do what you do best, because the rest of it will come. Those passes will come through. And we would have been so close last week, but for a little bit about more clinical distribution right at the end. And then maybe having a different conversation today.
Yeah.
Look, he doesn't even need to stand in the mirror and talk to himself. I'll stand there and do it for free. I'll talk to him, no problem. No, but look, absolutely brilliant, guys. And look, we'll bring up the starting lineup. We put together a bit of a starting lineup today, guys. Look, Nuno did allude in his press conference that he is going to make some changes. Knowing what changes he's going to make, it's tough. So, look, I'm just going to give you a quick run through the starting lineups. Hugo Lloris in goal. Well, this isn't the predicted lineup. Hugo Lloris in goals. We've gone with Tanganga over Emerson today, just to afford that bit more of kind of defensive, solitude at the back. So we've gone with Tanganga in there today, along with Romero. Look, we've put Dyer in, but it very well could be possible that Sanchez comes in to partner Romero. Regulon at left back. I think Højbjerg and Skip is a must today. We've gone with Lucas out right, Sonny out left, Kane up top, with Tanguy as number 10. Guys, if there's any changes you would make to that, do let us know. But that is the predicted lineup there today, guys. So look, me and Jack, we've got our last couple more or less, right? So let's see if we can keep going with it. But look, guys, it's that time of the afternoon. It's just a couple of hours from kick out. I'm over on We Are Tottenham TV now in the next half an hour. So look, Jack, where can we find you? And then give me your score prediction.
They can find me over at flatcapeurotalk, especially, I think I don't need to tell Kuva99. I don't need to tell some of the, or Dara as well, David. They've had fantastic questions in regard to, what we've been missing in the transfer market. That's why if you want those answers, as well as, under a Levy budget, which again, David, I always try to make it as hard as possible on myself, try to make it as realistic as possible, because I do try to think about things in more of a realistic kind of scenario. And maybe that just speaks to the fact that I don't demand enough from this club, but I do take kind of the current situation in mind. You can head on over to Flat Cap Euro Talk, our second channel. It's basically where all those transfer, kind of news, all those kind of transfer even answers, all those Paratici kind of questions, basically any sort of way that you want to fix Spurs, any sort of way that I would fix Spurs. You can find that over on Flat Cap Euro Talk. We do everything from highlight reactions to certain players we've been rumored with, to also players that I think could fix all our problems, as well as also a bit of kind of European football content that, maybe is just outside of the Spurs realm as well. So maybe just also a bit of therapy you can find over there, of course. But Flat Cap Euro Talk, that's where you can head on over. And also, David, maybe I've gone for 2-1, and I'm going to probably stick by it, but I would say the first goal is the most important, David. And I would even argue whoever scores first is winning the match. That's going to be my prediction. Whoever scores first is winning this match. But I'm going to go 2-1.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So there you have it, guys. Make sure you get over to Flat Cap Euro Talk. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. It's going to be your place to be, honestly, during the transfer window when you're linked with all these sort of players. Jack has it covered over there on the Flat Cap Euro Talk. So make sure you do get over there and check it out. Josh, where can people find you, my man, and what's your score prediction?
So you can find me over on Twitter at JoshRGNHD. You can also find me on YouTube, Josh the Tottenham Guy, where I've just started a new series called Player Profiles, where we deep dive into the lives and careers of Tottenham players past and present. Episode 3 on Glenn Hoddle is currently in the works, so keep an eye out for that one. If you've got any other suggestions, guys, just you go on the videos, drop a comment down below. Let me know what kind of players you want to see spoken about. Across the course of December as well, I will be talking about transfer rumours, transfer news, confirmed departures, confirmed incoming players, everything that I love Spurs. I want to have my opinions put out there. That's where you can find me. If you like what I say on here, go over to there, because I promise I won't disappoint you on there. But thank you. Big up to all the Harris Army. Big up to the Flat Cap Army. Score prediction, I'm going to go with a subtle 2-1 win, I think, today. Harry Kane to get 2. And I think we'll. It's guaranteed to give away a penalty at some stage. So I think today's going to be that game. It'll be a Penandes penalty.
It's going to be great to see them fight over it, though, as well. Between Ronaldo and Penandes.
100%, 100%.
That'd be good.
I'd love to see Bruno just headbutt Ronaldo and tell him to piss off, like.
Absolutely love it. And Josh, look, Aguma's gone over subscribed as well.
Thank you very much.
And look, Phil, what's your score prediction, my man?
I'm going to go 2-2 today. I'm still very nervous. Give it 5 minutes in, and it may be a different story, because it depends on how we start. And I think Jack's right. I think it's all to play for there. But if the right Spurs or the right mentality Spurs turn up, we will win. There is no doubt about that. If Man U get ahead and we start slowly and everything, then it makes it for a tough afternoon. But still secretly confident we can sneak it, but I'm going to go safe 2-2.
Ooh,
2-1.
He's going for a Desmond.
I'll let you away with it today. Phil, to be honest with you. I never usually let anyone escape my clutches without.
I'm not gonna let him away with it. I want a winning prediction, Phil.
What's the winning prediction?
3-1.
Oh,
there we go. That's what we like to see. Up the Spurs. Come on,
same number of goals. I'd like to see it that we went 3-0 up, and then they got one late on, and then they thought they were going to get back in, but Romero just leads the line. It's like, we're not having any of it.
Absolutely love it. Well, look, for me, guys, I'm going to go 3-1 Tottenham. Look, we have to open the floodgates at some stage. Why can't it be today? Ollie got a shoe shiner, and he's weak, and he's laughable defence roll around today. Honestly, you can play circus music while them guys are running around at the back line for United. So why can't we take full advantage of it today? Look, you've got that cheap Phil Mitchell running up the left-hand side and Luke Shaw. You know what I mean? You've got the walking McDonald's menu in midfield of Fred and McTominay. You've got Mallet Head Maguire accompanied by Gimpelov at centre-back. You know what I mean? So there's no reason why we can't take United today. Well, look, we went into it last season. Not many people thought we could do it. We walked out of Old Trafford with a 6-1. Why can't we turn them over at our stadium, you know, when they're absolutely begging to be taken for a ride today? So let's absolutely spin them up. This is what you're going to call Spin City today. Look, I want to say a massive thank you, you know, to the Harris Army, the Irish Hotspur Army for tuning in today. I really do appreciate it. I do apologise. It's not my best performance today, as some can maybe tell. But look, I'm getting through it anyway. You know, give me another hour. I'm going to be absolutely revved up to the match, you best believe. I'm going to whack a can of Monster Energy into me now. And I honestly, you know, you'll see me running around with my phone, probably doing the pre-match pump-up over on We Are Tottenham TV, just running through door after door after door after door. I'm going to be that pumped up. But look, guys, a massive thank you to everybody who tuned in. A massive thank you to everyone who smashed that like button. If there's been any new subscribers today, a massive thank you to you too. A massive thank you to all the superchargers as well today. Really do appreciate it. And the true sets you free. Big up, my man. Really appreciate it. And he says, never quit like Spurs. God bless. My man, I'll never quit. I will never, ever quit. I'm not a quitter. Ask my family. I don't quit things. I ain't a quitter. Put my mind to things, and that's the way it is, my man. But look, guys, a massive thank you to everybody out there. Make sure you get over to We Are Tottenham TV. Pre-match pump-up starting in 20 minutes' time. Starting at 4 p.m. over on We Are Tottenham TV. I want to see you all there. And look, you know, make sure you get back here for the watch along, starting at 5:15. As always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, Spurs. Up the boys.
You'll be seeing me if Harry Kane scores.
Levy out.
See me doing the soo. Absolutely loving life. But big up, everybody. See you all again soon.